opportunity is going to be Gentle there to shut him down if they want to go on a run of themselves, but it would need to be quick and decisive. As we saw last game, Jason put down Paris. He did not care what they were doing, mates. He did not care they were landing in the space. He said, you know what? Nah, this game, I'm going to go on my own little spree. I'm going to write my own destiny.
And that's what it's all about. We talked about it. There's no love lost. It's the solo competition. There is one axe of champions up for grabs, and everyone is currently chasing Tayson for it. You can see Benji picking up an Elim in the feed there. So who besides E11's Tayson is currently in the running? Rifla sitting in second place at 42 points, needs 16 to close it. He is the closest. And you have Deceptos 41, Hen at 40, Reason at 40, Vadil at 38, Snazy at 38, and then we'll keep Letwick in the conversation as well at 37, that's 21 points back. So that's 7 eliminations plus the victory royale.
And it sounds like a lot because it is, but these players can do it. These players can make the play. We just saw Tayson do just that. But of course, it's all contingent on if Tayson goes down. If he's able to make it into that top 25, into the top 15, top 10 placement points, then your chances are very, very, very slim of toppling him.
Yeah, the longer he stays in the game, the more that delta closes. And now we're going to swing back on board here. Anas potentially looking to set up a nice little door ambush. We've seen this a number of times before. The reason players will hang out by doors is because a lot of players will either interact with doors right away or have auto interact set. What that means is when they walk up and they open the door, they're unable to take any other action because you're locked out while you're performing that animation. If a player walks in right on the other side of the door, this is Anas looking to manufacture an elimination, and Bitfox might be the one on the other side of it.
He is setting the trap, and the cheese, you got to wonder how tasty it'll be here for Bitfox as he's falling for it. He's walking right in. Anas is going to get the shot. The trap has been sprung. Bitfox down to 23 HP. Anas really needs this elimination if he wants to contest it. Bitfox trying to stay out and run away, but Anas going to pick that one up.
And that's so good. We talked about it last game. We talked about doing everything possible in your power to set it up, to be successful, to manufacture these points when you need to climb that grind and get up and catch somebody like Tayson, where every single point matters. We can see some early shots coming out here. Can he potentially find the tags, convert it into elimination? And looking on the bottom right-hand corner, nobody's really threatening even remotely close to him right now.
Indeed, and this is what you want if you want to get that first place. He says he's just going to get gifted an elimination on the handy.
And that's so huge. Every single point pushing him that much farther up. And it reminds me so much of Booga during the Solo World Cup when he threw a couple of rifle shots there in the final game, was able to pick up an Elim, and he just laughed to himself. Tayson got to be laughing to himself right now. If you're in Party Royale, hit him with that hee-haw emote. Let him hear the donkey laugh, because that's what Tayson has to say after throwing one singular AR bullet, but you saw him looking at it. You knew there was a third-party opportunity, and that's what makes the best player in Europe just the best. You've got to throw those shots over there.
And we also need to point out, yes, this is for first place as well. That is the goal everyone is playing. But everybody's going to get money for just coming here and making it here today. These are some of the best, if not the 100 best solo players in the European region. Sundown has said it. This is the most played in, most competitive region of the world, and it's not going to be easy to just even make it here. So Slender and Kezik, while they are fighting it out, and while one of them may fall here, they have done so much just to get here, to get their moment right here on the screen as Kezik is turning to fight in his favor. The pistol being used, it's breaking through the build, and Slender unfortunately gonna fall there.
Slender being taken down, and that's just a reminder again, this is the top 0.001% of players. This is the best of the absolute best, and they're competing against her after a grueling qualifying and heat process is now on board with Wolfies, the second place in the Duo World Cup, but having a tough run of it today on the opposite side of AR Bafa, who we've seen a number of times more than capable of taking these fights. So it should be a good little battle right here. But Wolfies continuing trying to play the aggressor. We talk about his rough day, only 8 points after 5 games, and doesn't want to be sent out here, wants to have at least some form of a stamp on this game, even if it is just as a spoiler. But with 5 HP, the young lord from the UK will bow out of the competition at just a measly 8 points coming over.
And AR Bafo is someone that has kind of come into that W key role and kind of taken it over for a lot of these players. And right there, someone who was really good at pushing that left stick forward back a couple of months ago. Right now, falling just a little short again. He was coming off an injury, so not in his full form there, but still, what a performance by Wolfies to just make it here today and put those 8 points up. Rezon, however, one of those players that could contend for the top. Again, you would need Tayson to go down before placement points started being divvied out. If he goes down in top 76, that is good for Rifla, good for Rezon, but the likelihood of that happening are very, very slim.
Especially because we saw Tayson early on grab whatever loot and mats he can and then just sprint towards the center zone. That first round of placements will be falling over in with just 4 more players going down, so a little bit quicker of a pace here. As you can tell, everyone trying to push it a little bit, get a couple of eliminations, get a couple placement points, try and move your way past that next player, maybe get a pay upgrade. And if you're hanging out for the first time watching us in Party Royale and you're not necessarily used to competitive Fortnite, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You might be wondering, hey, how do I get involved with this? How do I play in these matches? How did these players get here? Well, the first step is to go in and play in the arena. That is where you'll be able to earn hype, which is where you're gauged and then placed into different levels of play. You can end up getting into contender, and then you're up into champion, which will allow you access to different tournaments depending on where you're ended up placing. All of these players have grinded to the highest level, which is that champion level, which then grants access to certain cash cups as well as the FNCS. Then you can compete in those open tournaments to try and make the final rounds, which guarantee qualifications into the heats. And then after these heats, which were played on Friday and Saturday, you get the grand final. So again, when we talk about that 0.001%, these players have done it all in there, very much so at the top of the game. 74 left, so 1 point going down to everyone, and that includes Tayson.
It also includes Rifla as well as Rezon there. Thomas HD picking it up. Janice nearby as well. Thomas has got to be very careful here. If he is being a little bit too greedy, farming up a little bit too much too soon, he could start to go down as Janice is going to look to take him down. The builds are just not building there for him as he does take a lot of damage. 62 HP. He does have the RPG in his inventory, so he could turn that around if he gets the opportunity to, but he's got to be careful. Janice being aggressive. RPG out. It's going to hit the tree, but it doesn't do any damage. 27 HP. He's trying to side jump, but the ramp going to cut him off there as Janice continuing to pressure up. Thomas HD is getting WD'd, and Janice is going to be the one to take him out.
Thomas's attempt at a run will go down there. He was 12th trying to enter in here. We had talked about it. We'd hyped him up. We'd shown just how good and accurate he could be, but ran into Janice there, the FNCS Invitational Champion, in a tough 1v1. Again, it would have been an outside chance looking in, but now there is no chance as his FNCS is over. He's just hoping he can hold on to whatever spot in the top 20 as he's going to drop down from where he is right now after only picking up a singular point there. But now back on board with Flois, who has that hunting rifle out. He's looking to catch a cheeky headshot here right around the corner.
Oh, he's setting it up. He's getting so close. He's waiting for the opportunity to get it, taking his time, and he does hit it, but it's a body shot, not a headshot. Unfortunately, that will give him the pressure, though, that he needs to do. He's got the crash pad, set it up into the box. He goes with that player new, and the diagonal box out going to come through, and Flois not able to capitalize on that elimination. He was so sneaky when it mattered the most, but unfortunately, only the body shot coming through from him, but he gets tagged up by a third party, and now the player he headshot, or the body shot rather, is going to push him. It's going to be Kylix going aggressive, and Kylix needs elimination as well. Move into the upper echelon of prizing, and Flois is just looking to try to make a run here. Flois 23 HP, ticking down. Cashback comes through, and Kylix is going to come out on top.
tries to enter the bounce house, but unfortunately a little too much for that one. Got a little rowdy. They're going to kick you out. And it was Kylix who was the bouncer, pulling him out, ending his FNCS run. No attempt for heroics here from Flois, but peeking back on over. Again, Tayson, match number 5 winner, 26 points in that game overall. Currently had a 16-point game there. You can see Tayson now holds the largest lead between first and second all weekend so far. So it's just an act of holding on. And even then, if he goes down here, it's going to take a heroic effort from somebody in the top 10 to not only convert on a victory royale, but pick up a number of eliminations to even come close to matching that 12 elim victory royale we just saw. And currently sitting on 60 points, it looks like this might be a victory lap for him.
It looks that way indeed, but he's set up in a very awkward spot. He's got a player held out of zone. He's also got 2 players on the mountain behind him as Janice picking up another elimination there onto Sapphic. Tayson, though, is the story of the day. Can he hold the lead? The largest lead we've seen in between first and second, and he's looking to make it even larger here with this elimination, but someone else being a nuisance and shooting some shots over towards Kylix. Tayson, not peeking, is waiting for the right time to make his move and to make that striking distance and close it. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to be able to stay alive or get that elimination. There's Stacey now sitting in this box looking for the same amount of eliminations as he's going for shots all around players. He needs a miracle run. He needs, I believe, 21 total points, and so he could do it. We saw Tayson do it, but it would need to be in an impressive game.
But again, don't forget, we've talked about it time and time again. It's not just the number 1 spot. Yes, the Axe of Champions and all that clout is great, but because Tayson is occupying so many of those points, everyone else who's in 2nd to 10th right now, each one of their interactions against each other is going to matter in terms of the placement, in terms of the money you end up walking away with. And also, man, 2nd sounds so much better than 8th or 7th or 6th, right? Like that battle for 2nd place and who can capitalize on this opportunity is still a huge moment. Going back and looking at the Solo World Cup, TSM's crew was able to go from 66 to 6 with a singular 7-game victory royale in the final moment. Will we see some similar heroics for somebody to charge up the leaderboard and push themselves in the top 5 while Tayson is just doing his best to avoid all conflict, because he knows the longer he holds on, the more likely he is to raise that axe at the end.
And just a reminder, every place past 6th place is an increase of $10,000. So if you are a Slicks, if you are Rifla, if you are Deceptos, that's what you're looking for. Kylix is trying to get up in there as well, up until that gap in between first and second, where it's about a $25,000 increase. There's still a lot of money on the line looking for these players to grab, and I'm very concerned right now. Kylix, with this hunting rifle, is shooting shots over to Tayson. This is not looking good. If Tayson does not get out of the situation, Kylix should get the snipe onto him, and the pressure is coming through. Will Kylix hit it? Will he hit the shot that will end Tayson's run? His shots are coming through, 129 effective HP in a very bad spot. Everybody knows he just... Kylix here. The pressure come through, and Kylix is going in. The crash pad's going to be used, but Kylix is very low HP, 66 HP there. Tayson may be too aggressive here. He's got the hunting rifle. He could go for a little snipe there. If he does, it would need to be perfect. He's going to look for it. He's going to look for it. He takes him down. Tayson is down at 60 points.
Tayson smelt blood in the water with Kylix pinned against the outside of the zone, but Kylix says, let's open up the floodgates. Let's give the opportunity for somebody to have that heroic moment. Number 1 is down. I repeat, number 1 is down. E11's Tayson has been taken out at 60 points. That's the line we're looking at. Can anybody possibly catch him? Who's in the conversation? It's going to take the victory royale and much, much more. But all of a sudden, this game has so much more tension on it as the victory lap has been canceled early. He pulled up, and now can anybody else close that gap? Enos doing his best right there, picking up an elimination, but he has a long rotation to go before he gets into the zone.
And Cardin and Kazakh are not going to let him get there easy. They're not going to let an easy rotate come out. So he does have crash pads and launch pads there. What's concerning for Enos is the amount of AR in his inventory. Now, if he knows that Tayson just went down, if their feed showed it, and he doesn't have that anonymous mode on, Anas is going to be very, very, very hungry for placement. He's just going to look to try to set up in a good spot, but right on the edge of zone, there's going to be players looking for you. And you see the quick edit. That's there. Going to protect him for a little bit, but he's running out of hard mats, and you see the wood being built there. He's got to be careful. Carton setting up nearby as well. Question is Rifle still in a good spot to contend as well? There's so many players that are on the cusp of taking this game away from Tayson. It is going to be so, so close.
But don't forget, the line is 60 points. So while they're close, they need a lot. Tayson had a monumental performance in last game, and Anas is trying to double it up right now. We talk about it. It's going to take all the skill, a little bit of luck, and a bunch of execution. And right there, some good shots coming through, but not going to be able to find the loot afterwards. So who are we looking at who can potentially close it if they win the game? Rifle is in the conversation. Deceptos, Hen, Reason, Vadil, Snazy, Letwick, Frenzy Fishy, and Anas. Any of those players, if they're still up, gaining eliminations and gaining points, are slowly going to P-Pool, as well as the ton has already established themselves. We're going to wait, and we're going to roll the dice. That half in, half out zone that it pull, and which one of these key players can the final game. There is 4 storm zones left after this. 52 players up. Number 1 is catch him, or will Tayson's lead be enough to just barely edge him over the top? There's the zone on the far west side, Clay.
And Rifle has no mobility. He's got to make a play. Reminder, AR Baffo is right nearby Rifle. If he gets too aggressive and shoots a little bit too early, Baffo will strike. We've seen him hop out of cones into players' boxes to look for it. That is not good for Rifle. He needs to rotate soon. He's got to go up. Exactly. He's got to follow that path that was just built for him. Because if he doesn't, he's going to get capitalized. But there's Baffo's moving. Baffo's moving behind. Shots come through. Down to 131 HP. Rifle needs to get Baffo.
Twain's picking that one up, saying, no run for you, sir. You must be this tall to ride the ride, and you will go down. Frenzy Fishy picking up one, so he's going to start moving his way up the leaderboard. We're inside the top 50, so that's another placement point down. Everyone who's contending for Tayson getting those points, he did not. He went down outside of that threshold. Again, the line is 60. Can anybody cross it towards the end? It's up for grabs. If somebody...
60 points is what everybody needs to be thinking about right now. That is the number that you need to break. You also need to pick up a victory royale. If you're just going for 60, the 61 points is where you really need to be shooting. That is a very tall order to ask.
I mean, 61 realistically, too, because even with the victory royale, Tayson has the highest eliminations out of anybody in this tournament right now, so he owns that tiebreaker solidly. Now we're going to hop on board here with Deceptos, who's currently below Storm Surge, and we're actually going to need 14 players to drop, so that could end up coming into play with how fast this zone closes. If everybody prioritizes rotation, and with nobody wanting to drop, you could see that happen, but right now, Deceptos trying to find a pick. This is the final game of the EU FNCS, the final circles. 3 left. Number 1 player is down, and who can catch him? 61 points is what it will take to lift that axe and be the one who walks away with $80,000 in the end, and it's all about if you can catch Tayson.
And Deceptos 10 looking to do it. 42, 43 points each. They're very, very close. And now going up. But he doesn't have a lot of HP. He's going to need to find something. Crash pad's being used, trying to build to keep a little bit of a mid-ground chart, but not going to be able to do it. Benji making a run to just try to separate his game and try to get as many placement points and move himself up the leaderboard as he can, because he's out of contention for the Action Champions. AR Buffo there as well. Mongrel in this game. Scram going down. Hen trying to make something happen. Janus going to go down. Mongrel going to fall, as well as Orange. Hen picks up another elimination. This could be his run as well, but it's going to be very, very close.
Storm Surge will turn off there as we have the top 30. Janice picking up an elim there. But Hen, if he wants the win, he needs to put his foot on the gas, right? The placement points aren't just enough. The Victory Royale isn't enough. We saw Tayson, he had 12 elims. Every one of those elims was a point that pushed him farther up. And while being still in the game gives you opportunities, if you want to seize the moment and you want to say your best is the best, you have to go now. You have to be pushing people. You have to be converting on the points because there's only 19 elimination points available right now. You have to start finding them. Top 20, so the placement points are ticking down right now. And Hen, completely out of builds, needs the elimination just for the refresher. He's doing his best, making this a platform game. Diving around, looping on the corner, finds the first shot, can't find the second, and he gets taken down. Top 15 taking over and looking at the names of the lobby. I think only Frenzy Fishy has a chance, and I don't think he has enough elims this game going through. Tayson is going to be your FNCS solo champion, but it's about who can get that second place right now. If they're able to push forwards here, Deceptos theoretically could eliminate every single player in the lobby and go for it, but we talked about it. You have to be pushing the pace. Instead, he's saying, okay, I understand Tayson has that W. I know he's probably going to take the first spot, but if I can stay in this lobby, I'm going to pass other players. Everyone else has gone down, and now he's dropping in. 112 on the first one, but he gets walled off. 35 HP, uses the crash pad, but he goes up vertically and not into the box. Top 10 and another point ticks over. Deceptos goes down with 49. Now it's all about pride. The final victory royale in beating the person next to you, getting a little bit more of a payday in the final game here.
And Bafo could get that. He's at 40 points. We saw Deceptos go down with 49. This could be a second place run for Bafo. Stroky trying to make something happen there as well. 4 eliminations here for AR Bafo. Eliminations coming through all around for Stroky on that high ground. Looking to break his way on down. Shots coming through for Stroky down very, very low. Has to box on up. Twain's doing that. Nade dropping down. Bafo trying to just make something happen. 100 effective HP. 5 builds there for them. For Stroky getting tagged up there by Twain. Shots coming through. He's trying to hit him, but he's not going to make it. No, he does. Elimination comes through. Bafo trying to make something happen as well. Dropping down to the outside. Going around the boxes. Is going to find some loot. Is he going to fall there to zone? Bafo with 4 eliminations. Looking again to get number 5, number 6, and number 7 as more people are falling. And Bafo clutches up the last elimination for the Victory Royale. But I don't think he's going to get second. I think he's going to take third.
What a huge push from Bafo at the end. We talked about it, how every interaction will matter. And while E11's Tayson is the best player in Europe for this season, walking away with the AXA champions, the 80 grand, and all of the clout, Bafo takes game number 6. He'll rocket himself up the leaderboard. He'll earn a nice little payday in the clutch moments, and you can see there just how good Tayson was today. 22 eliminations, averaging a placement of 27th, but the big one, Clay, was that 12 elimination victory royale in game number 5.
What an insane way to secure yourself that number 1 spot. It was dicey towards the end, but I think we all knew that Tayson just had to stay alive just a little bit, and he did that, and he walks away with the victory.
We talked about it specifically. It would need a heroic effort from somebody in the top 10, but instead a heroic effort from Bafo, who was 26 before that. But where will he end up on the final leaderboards? We're going to throw it back on over to Zeke, Bala, and Shayo to close this one up. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Sundown Clay, absolutely incredible casting of the day. You guys were so on point with these calls. I mean, it did come down to the wire, and for sure, Tayson is the FNCS champion, and now will walk away with the Axe of Champions. Now, of course, big props, but now we take a little bit of a turn here and look at everyone else, second between fifth, because placing up there is a pretty considerable amount of money.
Yeah, and to get there, how things were, all the way till the final second, the final shot, the top 10 switched up. So, looking at what it is now, after Game 6, after this grueling process for Europe is over, it's Tayson at the top spot, 60 points, $80,000. At 10th is Anas still holding on, $7,000 for